Hey everybody, welcome back to Electric Cafe. Today's review is out. Today's video is album review on Marc Almond's 1988 album, The Stars We Are. Um, this is my original record here. It was actually my sister's. She doesn't want it back. I didn't ask her, but no, I probably had it since probably, probably 1989. I think she bought it that year and it kind of snuck into my room and never came back out to hers. Um, Unfortunately, that's what happened a lot. As she kind of got out of record buying in like 88, 89. She got married in like 90, so I kind of took all of her records that I liked from the middle 80s and early 80s. So she recently sent me I was kind of bugging her to send me her cassettes because she had a box of cassettes that she never played, and so she doesn't play records or CDs anymore. She just plays Pandora or whatever. So she sent me a box of cassettes, and that was kind of cool going through those really old cassettes. I'm looking at them now. I got like Nick Kershaw, The Color Field, Scritti Politti, Howard Jones, Bangles, Pretenders, Paul Young, Bryan Adams, Thompson Twins, Specimen, Till Tuesday, Corey Hart, Beastie Boys, Oingo Boingo, The Dream Academy, Morrissey, just some ABBA, just some old classic, some good cassettes from back in the days. I like getting anything old, like old music that I used to listen to, and getting it on cassettes is always cool. Um, but yeah, I'm going to review Marc Almond's 1988 album, The Stars We Are. I'm gonna go track by track and then just kind of rate each song and then give an overview of the album and then rate the album as a whole. The first track is the title song, "Stars We Are." I really like the strings and the horns, just solid production. It's really kind of catchy. I like the chorus. Um, I would say Marc Almond's voice doesn't work for everybody. Um, it's kind of I wouldn't say, I don't know if it's an acquired taste. You have to listen to him a lot to like his voice. I don't know. Just I'm kind of used to it. I grew up on Tainted Love and Bed Sitter and um, just that first album, um, Nonstop Cabaret. Nonstop Cabaret was it's just a classic album, and so many good songs throughout his early career, and I really like a lot of his 1987 to like 82 or 1987, really 81 to like 92 or 93. I really like his stuff in those years. And this one's kind of like right in the middle of that. But sometimes I don't know if his voice is kind of an acquired taste. I'm just kind of used to it. So I don't know if he's a good singer or if he's a bad singer. I like the emotion in his voice. I can kind of feel like, his emotion when he sings, whether he's sorrowful or he's in pain or he's sad or he's, excited or whatever. Like, I can kind of put myself in his shoes a little bit. Like when he sings, like I can relate to his singing, so nothing really puts me off about his singing, even though it's really different. Um, I really like his songwriting and his voice, and you know he as he sort of got into this period, especially this album, he started to put more. Um, well, I would even say um, maybe even probably early on as his first album, he started doing putting a lot more orchestra behind his sound. I mean, he's certainly into like show tunes and plays and stuff like that, so it makes sense for it to get into his music. But I feel like this is the album that sort of really kind of led towards like some of his big hits in sort of the second half of the 80s and early 90s when he had some a few big hits that sort of had like orchestras in back of them, and then I think he started doing some plays and stuff like that, and writing some soundtracks and things like that. But the first song, yeah, it's one of my favorite on the album. I got 3 stars. It's right outside my top. It's my fourth favorite on the album. Put it that way. Second song, these my dreams are yours. It's a good song, very musical song. Um, I got 2 stars. It's a good song. Bittersweet is my least favorite on the album. I got it 3/4 of a star. Couldn't really say anything good about it or really bad about it. It's less than okay. It's just, yeah, didn't really do too much for me. Track number 4 I really like is Only the Moment. The strings, the bass line, the piano, the way Mark sings it. The chorus is great. The horn solo is really unique. Um, it's a it's an enchanting song. Put it that way. No, I really like it. It's a very cool song. I have it 3.5 stars. Really strong song. Um, 5, Your Kisses Burn. It's not bad. I got it 1.25 stars, so it's a little bit better than okay. The Very Last Pearl. It's a catchy song, but it's I don't know. It kind of starts off slow and then sort of does better, and then but never really gets much better. I got it 1.5 stars. It's catchy though. And then you have Tears on Rings, which is uh, one of the singles off the album. I do have the 12 inch for this with the remix. Mark sings it really well. The piano hook is great. The keyboard melody is great. The verses are great. The chorus is really strong. Nice climax. At the end, the way he sings it and the melody part, and it's a really good song. I have it excellent. It's my favorite song on the album, and certainly one of my favorite Marc Almond songs. I got 4 stars. Amazing song. Track number 8, Something's Got a Hold of My Heart. This was, I believe this was a single, or maybe not. I know Only in the Moment and Tears on Rings were singles. This is a really good song. This is a perfect example of what I'm talking about the orchestral background and all that, and him, adding a lot more instruments and different things like that. I have it 2.75 stars. It's almost a very good song. It's like right there. I felt like I couldn't really take it over the edge though. The Sensualist. It's kind of mystical. Nice violin and strings, moody piano. Really nice. Kind of an underrated track on the album. I feel like it's. I got it 3 stars. And then the last track, She Took My Soul in Istanbul. Has a nice sound going on. Good song. 2.25 stars. So I got a little bit better than a good song. So then the overall of the album, very it has a very good couple songs for sure. Tears on Rings, Only the Moment, Something's Got a Hold of My Heart. Some decent, strong secondary tracks. The title song, The Stars We Are, The Sensualist. Those are nice tracks. Um, so 5 of the 10 tracks are really good. I think Marc Almond really kind of comes into his own in this album. It's well rounded album, a bit of everything. Nothing is overly campy. Lots of orchestral sounds combined with new wave, which is cool. It's kind of trying new things. The opportunities for the album, 3 of the songs are okay or worse. The snare is rough on all these songs. Like there's the time in like 87, 88 where in popular music where the snares are just really loud, and it's mostly in heavy metal or hard rock, like something like Def Leppard or something like that. The snares are just like, and they're not really a good snare too. It's like, I'm sure like producers will know that it's kind of an ongoing uh, joke about trying to get a snare sound right. Um, yeah, just the snares on this album. A lot of them don't go with the song. They could have been better. I don't say they won't go with the song, but they could be better, and they could be lower in the mix. Sometimes they're too high, which is like a lot of bands did in this time. When you're doing a mix down, a lot of times what producers would do would be is you generally mix the rhythm section first, right? When you're mixing songs, right? So you do you're writing on the console. You're gonna, okay. Track number one's the bass note. Okay, two is the snare note, hi hats, left and right. Tom left, tom right. And then you go down to bass, and then vocal, and then guitars, and then maybe effects or keyboards and stuff like that. And then it kind of goes down the line, right? So when you're mixing, you're usually mixing left to right. You're getting the rhythm section right. You're getting the drum section right first of all, right? Because that's kind of the foundation of the song for popular music generally. So you do the kick, you measure in the snare, and then you kind of round it out with the drums, right? Use your ears. You do the mix there, right? For some reason, the snare was as strong as the beat, and that was almost like a prerequisite when mixing music in the 80s. You would just do for some reason the snare was just, it was thought of as like as important as the bass, as the beat. So as everything is just beat and then snare, and you're like, oh, okay, well, let me form the toms around it. So you're already putting the beat up to where, you know, you kind of, the beat is the beat, right? You're just kind of like looking at the VU meters and seeing where the levels are, and that's kind of the gauge of where everything is kind of a starting point. And for some reason, the snare is right there a lot of times, and it's just way too high. But when you think of a drummer playing, they are hitting that snare hard. But it's just like, when you listen to it on an album, it just doesn't always sound right. And you're just like, that snare is just. And then when they try to put any effects on the snare, then you're really opening up a can of worms, because, you're going to make that snare stick out even more. So it's really kind of it's a judgment call for sure, like anything. But it's like, you really want to be careful how you affect or put snare in the mix and volumes and stuff like that. And on this album, it was probably like, okay, bass snare right up there, boom, tsh, boom, tsh, boom, and they're like, you're just like, wow, that snare has way too much echo and way too loud. But yeah, other opportunities on the album, some campy lyrics here and there. That's kind of Marc Almond's shtick. Is he has some like overly emotional kind of poetry, playwriting, and sometimes they can be a little, wouldn't say, maybe not even campy. It's just maybe a little sappy. I don't know, maybe a little corny. Um, but that's some people may like that stuff. I don't know. To me, it seems a little bit. I don't know. You're kind of writing pop music, and then at some points you kind of want to put your feelings into the song to make it yours. But sometimes you don't really want to put all your feelings in a song for fear of somebody judging you, right? And unfortunately, that's what I'm doing, is I'm judging your emotional side, and it just kind of comes off a little kind of campy. It's just kind of weird. I feel like I'm listening to you. I like your music, but I don't want to, like, be, I don't want to know everything about how you feel about everything. Like, it's a little too. It's not like it's too intimate or something like that, but it's just like, I don't know. It's just, I'm not the type of person that would write. There's certain people that probably wouldn't write certain things as lyrics, and some people that would. And I guess maybe that's just the simplest difference. I'm probably just overthinking it. But I really like this album. When I add up the stars, 24 stars. The stars we are. 24 stars divided by 10 tracks is a 2.40. So really solid on the star scale. When I look at where that kind of places it, that puts it right under 60. But I pumped it up a little bit. I gave it a couple extra points. You know, I have a good history with this album, and I maybe I like the parts a little bit more than the sum of the parts, but you know, I gave that album a 63 out of 100. So I bumped it up from like a 58, 59 to 63. Just gave it some extra points because um, I like the direction of the album. I like the overall sound. I like them trying different things. I like Marc Almond trying different things. The corniness doesn't really get to me, you know, a lot. Um, it's just kind of a side note. But you know, what other electronic artist or new wave band was mixing in orchestral stuff with new wave at the time? I think it kind of works in that respect, and it's kind of cool. So in that regard, I gave it a couple extra points, and I think there's some strong songs on here. Unfortunately, there's just a couple, you know, not so good ones, but the album is you can listen to the album at all the way through. There's nothing that'll like make you turn it off, even though I gave a track uh, 1 star, you know, or no, 1 star, 1 1/4 stars, or 1 1/2. Like, you know, it's still even those songs are okay, you know. So I don't. There's nothing on here that. I'm sorry, I did give Bittersweet 3/4 stars. So there's one song that's under okay, but you know, it's still a listenable song. I don't hate it at all, you know. So I think it's a solid album all the way through. It's just I still think the parts are a little bit better than the sum of the parts, but I do feel like those parts are, you know, pretty strong. There's 5 tracks over 3 stars, you know. So, but yeah, so that's my review on the Stars We Are by Marc Almond, 63 out of 100. All right, thanks so much for watching. Oh, curious, what are your top 3 songs on the song? And maybe I should start asking what album should review next from Marc Almond. Maybe I'll do that sometimes. Curious if you have a favorite Marc Almond record.